Today I am reviewing Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. Now, I watched these about a month ago. Anyways, getting to the review. The main problem with Batman Begins is that it's not really a Batman movie. It doesn't feel like a comic book movie, and it doesn't feel like a superhero movie. It just feels like just a simple action movie, and that's my main problem with it. Now, I haven't read any of the books or watched uh, um, uh, any of the TV shows that much, but I do not recall reading in any of the things that I have read on Batman that he was a trained ninja. Batman's a ninja? That just blew it completely out of proportion, especially since how he just decides to go, oh, yeah, yeah, I think I'm just gonna, leave and go, become a ninja. That's what most, billionaires do with their lives. To become ninjas, right? Just kind of seem very stupid. Um, the fights definitely weren't good, but all of the chase scenes and anything but actual literal fighting, like two guys just standing and fighting. Everything else was really good. The problem with the fight scenes is that the camera work was just terrible. Like, it was just moving all around, and I had no idea what was going on for any of the fights. With the exception of the final one, which was shot better, but it's still, the choreography wasn't amazingly good. Um, all of the performances were pretty solid, very good. My only problem was that Liam Neeson wasn't very. He didn't have much of an emotion or motive in his character, which made the villain seem kind of lame. And speaking of lame characters, I hated the Scarecrow. It's not like the character was bad. I mean, he had some good motives and they had a good setup for him, but the payoff wasn't good at all. He rides around on his horse for 2 minutes, then gets, tased or whatever, and that's it for the whole movie. That's it. It just the payoff wasn't nearly as good as the build up. Finally, I really liked the kind of ongoing theme in this movie of fear. It definitely, um, I liked how the director used that overarching theme to carry out the whole film. It kind of helped unify the film as one. Basically, this movie was a decent action movie, but it did not exceed as a comic book movie or Batman movie at all. And that was my main problem with it, is that it just didn't have a feel of Batman other than that this guy is dressed up as a bat. So, yep. Now, The Dark Knight. Let me tell you right now, it is a good movie. But I'll tell you right now, it is not my favorite comic book movie in the history of the cinema. And it also wasn't my favorite movie of 2008. Uh, Once again, the fight scenes weren't good at all. Some people said that they improved them, but I honestly thought that there wasn't too much of an improvement. It was still basically have him, punch and move the camera a little bit faster. Um, I think it's just may seem awkward because of Batman's bulky suit or whatever, but what the fight scenes they were just kind of slow and not very good. They just didn't um, film them as well as they could have still. The action scenes were still great. They're actually even better than last uh the last movie. The Such as the Batpod chase. The Batpod chase was amazing, and I was amazed by the special effects. The special effects definitely some of the best. It probably will win the Oscar. Um, and all the performances were good. I definitely think that Heath Ledger did a good performance. I haven't seen any of the other best actors, supporting actors though, so I don't know what he's up against. But what everyone's saying, it's all the other ones weren't as good as that, and I won't be surprised if he does get the Oscar. The secondary villain once again sucked, and I just hated that because first time I was just like, okay, I guess they're experimenting with villains, but come on, they messed up Two Face. Once again, the build up wasn't as good as the payoff. He has good motives and he has a good reason. And, the Joker has that really great scene where he's talking to him about corruption and chaos and all that stuff. But the payoff was just terrible. It was just 10 minutes of wasted screen time of him walking around or driving in the car or whatever and just like pointing a gun at people and flipping a coin. All it was, you live, you die, you live. Your driver's unlucky though. It was just really annoying. And it just didn't pay off. Like, it moved a lot faster than the first movie, but it was longer than the first movie, which makes me angry. Because once it gotten past the exposition, there's really no reason for them to extend it. And that was one of my main problems, is that they just went on too long with these unneeded scenes. Ironically, it has a lot of humor, yet the movie takes itself too seriously, which is another annoying thing for me. They're taking this guy who dresses up as a bat, and they're making it like Shakespeare or something. And yeah, the dialogue is just awkward, and it feels like too planned. Also, the ending was kind of just abrupt and just dark. Seems appropriate for the new darker, even darker Batman. Well, actually, no. I'd say that probably Batman Returns is still darker, but it's still like serious, more serious than the Burton Schumacher Batman's. Um, Basically, I'd say that definitely Batman Begins decent, Dark Knight good, but they just didn't seem to meet my expectations. Obviously, because there was a whole bunch of hype, and I didn't watch The Dark Knight until 6 months later, so that had something to do with it, I'm sure. But um, they just weren't as good as I was necessarily expecting. But I did enjoy both of them. But if you haven't seen this, you should probably see it because it's good. And that's all I'm gonna have to say for this review. Next time I'll be reviewing some movie that I have no idea what I'm going to do yet, or it might be a video game, who knows? You'll never know what to expect from me. I'm crazy.